All right, let's dive in. Today we're going deep inside a really secretive, high-tech project that's taking shape in one of the most remote corners of Uganda. It's called Project Octagon, and, it's basically trying to build the future in a place that feels like it's been left behind. Let's see exactly how they're pulling it off.
So this is really the heart of the whole story, and it's an almost impossible question, right? We're talking about the Karamoja region of Uganda, a place that is stunningly beautiful, but also just filled with massive logistical challenges. So how on earth do you build a modern, high-tech operation out here?
To really get their unique solution, we first have to appreciate the sheer scale of the problem they're facing. So let's break down the challenges and, some of the hidden assets of this seemingly impossible location. This slide just lays out the contrast perfectly. On one hand, you have these world-class assets, like Kadepo Valley National Park. It's often called one of Africa's best. But on the other hand, the obstacles are brutal. The roads, they're just unpaved gravel that can get washed out by flash floods. Cell service? Forget about it. The source material calls this a high-friction, high-reward environment, and that's the key. It's incredibly hard to work in, but the potential payoff is huge.
So how do you get past all that friction? Well, you don't try to fix the old, broken infrastructure. You just bring your own. The core idea here is something they call sovereign infrastructure. Think of it like creating a bubble of perfect reliability in the middle of nowhere. It's a totally self-contained system that guarantees 100% uptime on everything. Power, water, data, completely separate from any national grid. This one concept, it's the key to understanding everything else.
Okay, so with that idea of sovereign infrastructure in your head, let's get to the solution. And I'm telling you, the first step they took is probably not what you're thinking. The very first piece of this massive industrial project isn't a giant factory or a power plant. No, the first and most important piece is hospitality. They call it the welcome mat, and the strategy is actually pretty brilliant. Solve the human problem first.
This is it, Node 1. That's the official name for the welcome mat, and it's run by a local expert, Mike Tumwizige. Its entire job is to handle the soft power, all the logistics, the housing, the transport for people. The documents use this fantastic analogy. If the whole project is a smart city, then Node 1 is its grand central station and visitor center all rolled into one. It's the friendly, human face for a huge tech operation.
But hold on, this is not your average hotel concierge desk. This welcome mat is powered by some seriously advanced technology, and it's all designed to work completely off the grid. The brains of the whole operation is something called RIOS. That stands for Rural Infrastructure Operating System. You should think of it as the project's central nervous system. It's the software that connects and automates all the physical stuff, from the solar panels all the way to the self-driving cars. So what's in this RIOS tech stack? Well, you've got an AI logistics system, a fleet of autonomous electric vehicles they call Kurb Cars, a clinic in a box for healthcare, and of course, a high-performance Starlink connection to talk to the rest of the world. This is the tech that creates that bubble of perfect reliability we were talking about. And here's how it actually works in the real world. Say an investor in Toronto wants to visit the site. Their personal AI agent just sends a request. Node 1's AI agent gets it and then automatically books the flights, handles the visa paperwork, and schedules an autonomous vehicle to be waiting for them at the local airstrip. All the hassle of traveling to one of the most remote places on Earth is just automated away. It's incredible. Now, it's really crucial to get this. Node 1, this hospitality hub, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's just one piece of a much, much larger, globally connected network. Its most important relationship is with Node 4, which is the industrial engine of the project. So, Node 4 is the brawn. It uses this wild technology called plasma gasification to generate about 10 megawatts of clean power. But it can't run without people. And that's where Node 1, the face of the project, comes in. It houses, feeds, and moves around the engineers and operators for Node 4. They're completely symbiotic. One literally can't function without the other. And that support network is global. You've got Node 2 up in Canada, that's the brain, and it's constantly pushing software updates and new AI models to the systems in Uganda. At the same time, Node 3 in Arizona acts as a digital twin. They basically beat up all the hardware in the harsh Arizona desert. If a vehicle or a sensor can survive there, then it's good to go for Karamoja. So now that we've seen the tech and the global network, let's circle back to that core strategy, using hospitality not just as a service, but as a form of soft power. This right here, this is the project's core value proposition. And honestly, it's brilliant.
In a place that's defined by scarcity, where power cuts and water shortages and terrible internet are just normal, simply being reliable is the ultimate luxury. That is their #1 competitive advantage.
And the difference is just stark. The standard local option has frequent power outages. Node 1 guarantees 100% uptime. You've got spotty cellular versus high-speed Starlink. You might have water shortages, or you can have guaranteed reliable hot water. This is that sovereign hospitality promise in action.
And this isn't just some futuristic fantasy. It's a real business from day one. In its first year, Node 1 is projected to have a net operating income of over $61,000. And the fascinating thing is, that money isn't coming from public tourists. It comes entirely from serving the bigger industrial project. It's a captive audience that absolutely needs reliable housing and logistics.
The project is already active, but the plan is so much bigger than just taking care of its own staff. So, let's take a look at the roadmap for what's coming next.
Okay, so right now we're in phase 0. They're installing the very first pilot unit. The next phase is all about scaling up, getting a fleet of 20 autonomous vehicles and building out all the charging stations. And then, in year 4, that's when the big pivot happens. The project plans to launch Umoja Digital Adventure Tours and open its self-driving ride service to the public. That's when it goes from being an internal service to a full-on commercial business.
And that brings us to the final, really provocative idea. Project Octagon is more than just one development in Uganda. It's a potential proof of concept for a whole new way of developing places. It asks this incredibly powerful question. What happens to investment, to tourism, to daily life, when the most remote, impossible places on the planet suddenly become the most reliable? Now that is a future worth watching.